I learned this tactic from Eminem that he used in rap, but actually makes sales way more effective. He always used to talk about owning all the negatives. You want to say every negative thing you possibly can about yourself so no one else can. But as salesmen, you can actually stack the deck in your favor using all the negative and then reversing it into positive. Here's how it works. It's all around the word but. Normally, if you've ever heard people who are like, oh, he's saying something good, where's the but? Because everyone is trained to emphasize what happens after the word but. But when you're persuading, what you can do is rather than say good thing but bad thing, you flip it. So you say all the bad stuff. Our program's really long, it's very difficult, it's complex, but it works better than anything else you've ever tried. The second half of the sentence becomes magnified because of the damaging admissions that but amplified.
I think of all the sales presentations I do where this is just the natural progression. It's like, hey, this costs this much. Hey, this takes this much time. Hey, this is going to be difficult. Hey, growing your business is really, really hard, but it's worth it. But it's where we're trying to go in life. But it'll help you reach your goals. So in general, expectation management is everything. If you let people know exactly how it's going to go and you go ahead and let them know that there's going to be difficulties, there's going to be mistakes from us, from you, from everybody or whatever, but it's worth it. They won't care and you'll have a great relationship with the client. This video is all about expectation management, essentially negative selling. You're going over all of the hard stuff that people think that you're gonna hide from them. So you're developing this relationship of trust and honesty, and then you're saying it's worth it. Because this, it costs a lot, it's hard, it's difficult, but it's worth it. In the end, we'll have this result, this deliverable. And when you sell like that, people will love you for it and people will sign up.
Why do you want to know my hourly rate?
I guess I want to know where my $18,000 is going.
Does that mean if I work less hours, I should charge you less?
Yeah.
So if I go over those hours, I should charge you more?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying to me, you value this logo taking longer rather than shorter. So it means if I just tell you it took me 4 months to work on it, you will now owe me $36,000.
If it's in my budget and if I think you're worth it, but I would also ask, why would it take that long to make that logo?
I want to put a lot of effort into it.
But I could hire somebody else who would charge me the same rate but do it quicker.
So you value time over money then?
Sure, as a business person, yeah.
So here's the deal. I work really fast. I can come up with a logo, but I'm being punished for me being efficient and really good. You understand the logic doesn't work now?
Sure.
That's the problem. So if I could do a logo for you right now and you love it in 5 minutes, are you saying it's worth less than 18 or is it worth more now? It's worth more. So charging by the hour punishes me for being good.
That's the moment right there. Whether they think you're worth it, I constantly am working with clients on the idea that sales has nothing to do with price, has everything to do with value, right? If it's worth it, we'll pay for it. If whatever result is, if it's worth it, if it generates business, if it generates return on investment, people will pay and they really don't care what the price is. It's only that moment where they think that they're not gonna get the value that they start talking about price, because they don't believe that you're going to actually deliver the result that you're promising. And that's why the entire sales process, the entire marketing process from start to close has to be so clear and simple for them to understand exactly how we're gonna get them from where they are now, the problem, to the solution. The only time you should really charge an hourly rate is if you don't know how long it's going to take. So you want to make sure you're compensated based on the time it will take. At the Dallas Gap Company, we have hourly rates for things that we're not sure how long they're going to take because businesses are sometimes a mess that we work with, and that's really normal. For things that we know exactly how long it's going to take, we have a package price because we can get it to you really fast, but it's worth this much. And the reason it's worth this much is because of the clients that we've worked with. A concierge company and a lawn care company that we've worked with, one of them in 3 months we doubled their sales, and we didn't charge them that much. We charge more for that now. If we double your sales, do you really care how much we cost as long as you're making a 50 or 75% profit margin on what you spend with us? Concierge company, they're up 956% because of the work that we're doing. We've worked with them for about 5 months. They don't really care how much they spend with us because they're seeing such massive results, right? So when you're selling, it's about value. If they don't understand the value, it's because you're not educating them well in your sales process, and you need to go solve that. You need to improve how you're delivering information. You need to simplify things so they know and believe that you will deliver the value. Some of the ways you can do this: case studies, pictures, videos, testimonials, text messages from your clients, all packaged in a way that's specific for the client in front of you.
They've discovered under the leaf, every leaf of a plant, you'll see if you get a magnifying glass, little tiny holes called stomata. You kids will study that in biology class. The stomata close up at night, open in the daylight to let the air circulate in and out of the plant. That's how the plants breathe, through the stomata under the leaf. They've discovered that chirping sound that birds make at 4 in the morning, they open up the stomata under the leaf. One guy got curious about this, so he found out that the chirping of the birds can be mimicked with classical music. This guy in Iowa started playing classical music to his cornfield. His neighbors thought, half a bubble off a plum, maybe,
When people think you're crazy, you might just change the world. You might find something wild, so you should care a little what people think.
Till his corn grew 15 feet tall. They said, what channel was that you're listening to?
Back in 1962, they found that if you play classical music to plants, the plants will grow 20% more. We're talking about business output. That's a massive difference. It just goes to show that just because it's different doesn't mean that it's wrong. And in fact, if you do something different in your business that looks wild compared to everybody else in the industry, but you go outside of that, your business might just see some crazy success.
Well, this guy was failing out of high school, but he promised his mother he would take a test called the SAT. Well, this guy takes it. He's bombing. He's failing out of school. He doesn't expect anything. Well, he gets a 1480 out of 1600. He gets the score, and his mother says, did you cheat? And he says, I swear to God, I tried to cheat, but the way the numbers were and the scantrons and the bubbles, you couldn't cheat. He realizes he's smart, and he's going into his senior year. He says, I'm going to go to class. Now he starts to go to class. He doesn't hang out with who he did when he didn't go to class. He graduates, goes to a community college, and becomes this massively successful magazine entrepreneur. Well, the guy was always smart. He just needed...
That point that he just said is really important, right? He realized that he was smart, and that's a belief change of his identity. And now it's causing action, which is inspiring change in his life to find new friends, actually go to class, do the things that would help you be successful. Really important point. I think that's awesome. Community college, didn't go into huge debt. You don't have to go to the best college in the entire world. You just have to take action, make things happen.
Well, the guy was always smart. He just needed a standardized test to unlock it. My dad said, no, that's not the story. This is what I want you to understand. 12 years after all this guy's success, he gets a letter in the mail. Turns out the SAT board, the year he took the test, he was one of 13 people sent the wrong SAT score. His actual score was a 740 out of 16.
I was going to finish there. His actual score is 740 out of 1600. This goes to show you that, regardless of how good you are at tests or school, you can be extremely successful, number one. So your belief about yourself often determines your action, which determines your success. And what really needs to change is people need to take action that determines their beliefs, that determines their success. The lesson is that if you just do stuff, if you go take the action, you go to class, you study, and you'll eventually believe in yourself because you feel prepared ahead of the curve. And the action is what actually makes you successful, not the belief in yourself. If you believe in yourself, you'll achieve a lot of stuff. And even if you don't believe, I just really want you to hear this. Just take action, you will eventually believe.
I built wealth without reading a book a week, without making my bed, without journaling, without a 2-hour morning routine, without giving up alcohol, without giving up Netflix, without waiting to marry, and without leverage. Because the only thing you actually have to do is find what people want, sell it to them for more than it cost you many times.
So, in general, I really like Alex Hormozi. In fact, this is a good video to simplify what business is, right? I think people overcomplicate it. You got to have all of this stuff being perfect, looking perfect before taking action and get started. If you take action and you do exactly what he said, you find something people want and you sell it for more than your cost, yes, you'll have a good business. I think most people think that they need to do all of these perfect things in order to be successful. The reality is that you need to just do the right things at the right time. I've read books all the time. It's helped me be extremely successful. I think it's better to read one book a year and read that book 3 or 4 times and actually apply everything in that book. Really like Alex Hormozi. I like reading books. I do that. I have a morning routine. I go to the gym. I think he goes to the gym too. He's really buff. What he's really trying to say is avoid shiny objects. Basically these things that look cool, everybody else is doing it, everyone's promoting it on social media, whatever, and it's really not needed. If you just find exactly what people want and sell it to them and charge more than what it costs you, then you'll be okay. You don't have to be like everybody else. You don't have to wear a 3-piece suit that's $5,000 to be successful. You don't need to have the best podcast in the world. You just need to go do exactly what he just said. Guys, if you're looking to scale your business, get to the next level, go to knowledgegapconsulting.com. We can help you.